In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can program your workouts so that you can get strong, jacked, aesthetic, and bench cool numbers like 315. I programmed a couple dozen workout routines for the people in my community, and by the end of this video, you're going to come out with 5 different things that you need to look out for and you need to consider when you're programming your workouts. This will help you program any workout split regardless of the number of days you go to the gym, how long you train at the gym. Just make sure to look out for these mistakes that a lot of people make. Log your lifts. 1 rep max is not just a trophy number. It helps you train closer to failure based off of percentages so that you know you're actually progressing. So I talk to a lot of guys and they say, oh, okay, 1 rep max is just a trophy number, like you don't actually need to know it. Well, actually, knowing your 1 rep max is very beneficial because let's just say to make it easily understandable, tangible, if you can only bench 100 pounds and you're 85%, you're supposed to only bench that for 3 reps and then you hit failure. If you hit a 4th rep, if you're going for a 4th rep, then you have pushed more and then adaptation has occurred. That is how you know you're getting stronger, so that you're not progressing slower than you actually could be, because you know you're actually progressing because you're going off of percentages. You should not be able to bench your 85% of your 1 rep max for 4 reps because that is your 3 rep max. Similarly, if you're going for a 65% AMRAP, if you're benching only 8 reps with 65% of your 1 rep max, then you are overtraining real hard. And so it's important to understand your 1 rep max so that you can train closer to percentages. If you don't want to test your 1 rep max, then that is fine. I mean, knowing your 1 rep max is pretty great for understanding your percentages, but I say log your lifts, because logging your lifts basically helps you know that you're making progress from week to week or month to month. That what is measured typically will grow just because you are looking at it and placing more intention into actually getting it better. And I recommend just logging your bench press and your squat, and if you want to do deadlift, you can do deadlift too. Those are the 3 main ones you can really log because they give you general strength in all of your lifts. But you can also make sure to write down what you're doing for bicep curls, for tricep pushdowns, all of those things. Number 2, film yourself in the gym so that you make sure you're not learning things wrong and you're actually making sure that you're doing the correct form so you don't have any imbalances or you don't need to relearn something further in the future. When I first started recording myself in the gym, I realized I was leaning too far back when I was doing my rows for my back. Therefore, I was stimulating more of my traps rather than my lats. And so with that, with me seeing myself recording myself, just like I used to do when I used to skateboard to like try to learn like my kick flips, I would just make sure I was more upright and I didn't lean back as much so that I could target my lats more. It's just things like that. Number 3, here's the part where you actually came for. Programming your workouts based on your body parts. Really what you just need to understand is that there's upper body push, which is chest, triceps, and shoulders. There's upper body pull, which is back and biceps, and then there's your legs, which comes with your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads, and even your calves if you do decide to train calves. And then there's the last muscle group, which is abs. A lot of people say that you can indirectly hit abs when you're training everything else. That is up to you, but if you want to get really good abs at some point in your life, you can just go through a season where you train them real hard, and then the indirect stimulus from everything else will usually be enough to maintain them, at least the look of them. So any programs you write, you just make sure that you're targeting all of these muscles, that you've checked all of the muscles. You can do a push-pull legs thing that people do, like having like an upper body push day, upper body pull day, then you can have a leg day, and you can have an ab day, even for like a recovery day. You can even do cardio on that day. A lot of people decide to do like that. Everybody's programming is different, and everybody just does it differently pretty much. I personally run a 3 times per week bench and 2 times per week squat regime method with an also dedicated back day. Number 4, train like a to be a. If you want to get stronger, you need to lift heavier weights, because if you're lifting heavier weights, sure, you'll be doing lower reps, but then you're also going to get stronger because you're recruiting more muscle fibers. If you want to be an endurance athlete, you need to run long distances. If you want to be like really, really fast and being good at sprinting, then just sprint more. It's these things, like if you want to have your back big and strong, you need to train your back. Train like how you want to be. Personally, I use a strength focus with different rep schemes throughout the weeks for my compound lifts. And then for my accessory work, I just do a warm-up set plus 3 working sets of 8 to 12 reps, all to failure. A lot of guys don't go to failure. I didn't even know that a lot of guys didn't go to failure. The thing is, you should be going to failure every time, because you meeting that threshold stimulus will get you like the most actual gains. That threshold stimulus, once you actually meet it, if you're right over here, you're not gonna make gains up until you push that upper limit. When you push the upper limit, when you get closer to failure, like 1 or 2 reps away from failure, even at failure, then you're going to make more gains because you're literally just training harder than everybody else. And that brings me to the 3 mistakes that most people make when they're programming their workouts that you really don't want to make if you're trying to do this thing alone. That's too much volume for the sake of pushing themselves. They don't take all of their sets to failure. They do so many different sets in their workout, and they're like 2 hours in the gym, but they don't need to do that. I mean, the only reason you would be doing that is if you're resting a lot in between your sets, like for like 5 minutes, but you don't need to do that. You can rest like 2 minutes and 30 seconds is like pretty damn good, because a lot of guys run what's called bro splits. They only train one muscle group every single day. They'll do only their chest, then they'll maybe only do their biceps, or even just like only their arms one day, and then they'll only do their shoulders one day, and then their legs. And that still works for building muscle, don't get me wrong. I used to do those, and I actually do enjoy that kind of style of training, but it isn't as optimal as training the muscles that you want to grow like 2 or even 3 times per week. This is because junk volume sets in at around 8 to 12 sets. It might have been 8 to 10 sets in, because the stimulus that you do is the highest in the first couple sets, but then it tapers off slowly and you get diminishing returns for what you do. And I'm talking 8 to 12 sets dedicated for like one specific muscle group. And that brings me to the last mistake that a lot of these guys make when they're programming their workouts. They don't understand supercompensation. Supercompensation is the most basic training philosophy that I can give you, that if you follow, all of your programs will generally be pretty damn good. So we have a performance and time graph. This is 7-day schedule. So I think like Monday to Sunday. Imagine on Monday, you do a bunch of sets for your bicep. You actually are not able to do the same weight and not actually able to do the same performance for like the next day, until the next day. Once you've done the stimulus, you're going through like the recovery period, this would be. But then like maybe the day after, maybe like not Tuesday because you're still recovering, but then maybe Wednesday or Thursday you recover, and then you've actually undergone adaptation. This is what supercompensation is. But then if you don't exercise the muscle again around this time, your performance actually that you are capable of will actually start to taper off and dwindle up until you might be actually at the same baseline you were before. Now this might happen a little bit slower, like it could be like maybe a couple days up to there, but really ultimately what you need to get out of this is that this is the optimal time to train right over here. Because if you are not, if you're recovering but you're not training the muscle like immediately when it's like perfectly primed to recover, when you're able to have the strength to do the extra weight that you weren't able to do before, then you're going to lose some of the gains that you got. And this is where the bro split kind of lacks a little bit, because so many guys will end up doing way more volume. They'll like get so much stimulus, and so they'll actually end up going like crazy, like I need to recover, right? So not only does it take like a little bit longer to recover, they actually see around the same gains, because we know that the amount of sets that you do after like 8 to 12 sets is kind of like the diminishing returns, but you still need to recover regardless. So like even if it's slightly more, you need to recover more, and it takes longer. And the way you've targeted your split is that now it takes longer to recover because you're only training like once a week, and so it's dwindled. And then now since you're waiting like until next week to do it, then it might even, I wouldn't say it goes like lower than it was before. That's probably wouldn't happen. That didn't happen to me when I did bro split, but I would say you've probably left some gains on the table. So like if you trained the next time with this one, if you rode this wave, you would have been able to do the supercompensation and continue to go throughout the weeks much faster than if you did a bro split, because bro split's basically just like increasing the amount of time that it takes for you to get the gains. And so this over here, this is junk volume. So junk volume can be such a mythical like thing. Okay, what is actually junk volume? That is junk volume. Now, if you understand supercompensation and basically how adaptation works, then all of the workout programs you design will actually get you the gains that you desire, and you'll get big biceps, a big back, and everything that you desire when it comes to your training. So yeah, good luck and program your workouts. If you would like help from me to, actually I'll just give it to I'll just let myself from the past hit. So don't make these mistakes. That is how you program your workouts. And if you would like for me to personally program your workout so that you have the correct muscles hit, the aesthetic muscles hit for the number of days in the week you train, for you to actually get stronger bench 275 plus like myself and all of my friends, then yeah, just join my community, link in description, and just get in touch with me and we can get you sorted and I can help you out. I'll see you in the next one, bro. Bye bye.